Hello and welcome back to another episode of cedh bling builds. Um, Today we're gonna have something I tried not to do, but and that is feature a featured commander twice in 1 year. But I've been tinkering and playing a ton of Prosper since the first video was published, and so we're gonna just do it right. Have a volume 2 of Prosper Tome Bound. A lot of things have been cut from the original video, and Prosper seems popular enough with the view count that people want to see more Prosper. So yeah, let's get into it. So, original Prosper deck that I built and featured had a couple of engines, right? It had like a artifact engine with like a Goblin Welder and a Goblin Engineer. It had Bolts of Citadel and combination with Citadel and a top to draw the deck and to pay kind of like a, as I put it, a more convoluted ad nauseum. And with cards like Magda, you could essentially use your treasure to just special the Bolts of Citadel from the deck onto the field. That's been cut, all of it. That whole thing has been cut. It's not as amazing as you think it would be. The original video also had a Doomsday pile for Prosper with what is it, the take a second turn, oh my god, why am I blanking out for a second? Final Fortune, right? There's a Final Fortune pile with Doomsday where you stack, you play Doomsday, stack it in a certain way. So you Final Fortune, cast that with your Doomsday at Doomsday's end step at a Prosper's end. Now starting a new turn with a pile with like a Jessica's Will and which would then flip over a Twin Flame and a Dualcaster Mage, and that whole thing has been cut. The Final Fortune could be in a deck. Final Fortune is a meta call at this point because it's such a cute card, but we're in a weird meta, a weird Staxy meta, where you got to cut the cute cards and replace them with like a spot removal. And so the Doomsday line has been cut from this deck. We still have a Dualcaster Twin Flame in the deck. That's fine, but just not Doomsday into it because it's just so. It's mediocre. We added to our Cloudstone Curio combo, and we'll get into that in just a moment. Actually, let's get into the deck. Let's go. You got a Prosper Tome Bound, the ugly chromium version of it. Thick boy cardstock. You might have the one friend who, well, let's not call that person a friend, right? We might have the one person in our pod who has no friends, who might give you shit about the thick boy cardstock. So we have both cards in the deck, right? We have the legal to play and the thick boy cardstock. No problem. All the problems are solved now. We have Uba Mask. Uba Mask works really well in Prosper. Really, really well. Unfortunately, we're not in blue, obviously. So we can't just like transmute into it immediately. So it's just like a card that I wouldn't go out of my way necessarily to tutor up, but it's a nice card to just play on your, on curve. We have Underworld Breach because, of course, right, we're in red. Why wouldn't we have Underworld Breach shenanigans in the deck with our LED? And when we have our mana positive rocks, we could fill up our graveyard very quickly with a grinding station. Of course, the grinding station is used to fill up our graveyard during Underworld Breach lines, not so much to mill an opponent. I don't know if we could get there. And of course, we have the Dualcaster Mage with a Twin Flame combo. Twin Flame will target anything, right? Your own, Yeah, whatever. Oh, you control. Okay, so the Twin Flame will cast target whoever, and then you flash in Dual Caster, and then it bing boom bam boom bing 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 bam, infinite Dual Casters with haste, and then you swing for game, easy peasy. I know there's the other Twin Flame. I forget the name. I don't have both. I just don't have enough spicy ETB creatures to make it worth my while. Yeah, it's whatever. We have Dockside because Dockside is amazing, of course. Hey! I've changed my mind about Dockside. Before I used to criticize Dockside for being awful in casual pods because your Dockside's only going to go even, like turn 56. But with the popularity of a commander, you know, a lot of people, even if they're running like the 3-drop rocks, you know, uh, you're you're gonna go a little bit more plus on a Dockside sooner. It's still not gonna be like turn 2, turn 3. It's gonna be sooner. Also, with a lot of these snacksy like artifact and enchantment creatures, right? Dockside gets a little bit more value, right? Before, in a cedh metagame, you had like the fast mana rocks, but now you have a bunch of like enchantments and enchantment/artifact creatures that will help you go plus or You still got to get rid of that shit somehow, but you get your treasure. But in Dockside, we have some loopty-scoopty-whoops we could do, whether it's a corpse dance. If you have a sacrifice outlet, and the Dockside could come in to pay for corpse dance plus buyback, plus 1 treasure, right, netting that 1 treasure, we could go infinite. And so in this deck, the sack outlet we have is Skirt Prospector, sack a goblin, bada bing, bada boom. Oh, and then I guess that red you make is 1 less treasure you need to worry about. Cool. Yeah. Dockside Cloudstone, a lot of cool things we could do with Dockside Cloudstone. If you have like a baby or anything, a tiny, small costed, you could bing boom bam boom bounce Dockside infinitely to make that infinite treasure. Where can that infinite treasure go, you ask? Because a Prosper doesn't give a shit about infinite treasure. I don't know. We'll figure that out as we get there. But we have Stitcher Supplier, which is a nice creature that synergizes well with Cloudstone and Dockside. Of course, to mill yourself. Oh, this is not going to work. To mill yourself and fill up your graveyard for Underworld Breach combos. What happens if we lose our Underworld Breach? That's a thing. That's a thing we have to consider. Oh, and then this weird card, Abbott of Carol Keep. Abbott of Coral Gables, Florida. He's an old man. Abbott, what he wants to do is, once we have this infinite bouncy wouncies with Cloudstone and treasure tokens, the Abbott will come on board and you'll be able to cast your deck. Unfortunately, I don't believe there's a Rakdos creature that ETBs and does a Abbott for your opponent. There's another one, but it's just an instant sorceries in the graveyard, and we'll find that as we get there. But I guess the moment they print something like Abbott, but for that's a creature that does this to your opponents, yeah, that's going to be a strong card. But if we're doing it on the world and we're going plus, we're netting the infinite mana, we can then cast our deck. Yeah. And then, of course, with infinite treasure, one thing we could do is ping everyone with a Mayhem Devil, right? Stack the treasures and pew pew pew. Mayhem Devil on its own in a cedh table is really strong between fetches. Right, every opponent has like a fetch. They have their own treasure. You're going to be pew pew pewing either stacks pieces, right? Stacks creatures, or dorks. Casuals still, like, casuals don't have fetches. Casuals will do weird shit. Like, they'll have like 20 20 complete commander decks, but they won't have like a full set of fetches. And it's like, bro, just have the one of each card, please. Have your collection, whatever. That's not my business. But yeah, casuals don't have like all the fetches all the time, right? And they don't really have the mana dorks either. They don't play dorks. They play like cultivates and Kodama's reaches. But that's a tangent. We're not going there. With all this treasure, we can also cut to ribbons. So cut is a very awful spot removal, but so it's not dead in your hands. And this type of spot removal is appropriate in this current meta. So you can very easily like cut the stacks creature, like a rule of law creature, and then go into your combo, and then boom, you have your infinite treasure and ribbons everyone. And then you cut to ribbons everyone. Geez. Of course, we have Tainted Pact. It's just a really good tutor. So you already know things about my mana base, but we have Praetor's Grasp, because that's still a thing. We could Tainted Pact, Praetor's Grasp. Praetor's Grasp, of course, turns into Thassa's Oracle, ideally. It has nice synergy and Prosper. You're going to get the treasure, sure, whatever. But and if you're at a table where there's no Thassa's Oracle in your other three opponents' deck, that's fine. Right? But you could still tutor up anything you need. Some nice spot removal, maybe. And then we're going to go into some of the creatures. Some of the creatures are really cool. Really, really cool. We have our Rogue Tribal deck, right? This is a Rogue Tribal deck at this point, because we have Robber of the Rich. Robber of the Rich for 1 in red. He is a 2/2 rogue with reach and haste. So he's going to get in, and he's going to synergize really well with Prosper because of his ability. Whenever he attacks, the defending player has more cards in their hand than you exile top player. So, right? So you're going to, what is this? What is this called again? Something drawing. I forgot the name of this type of drawing that Prosper does. I hate the name of it, so I put it in the back of my mind. So yeah, you're gonna exile top, but during this turn, whenever you attack with a rogue, you may cast that spell, and the most important thing to spend mana of any color to do it. So you're like, oh, this is narrow card, Mr. Tuna. This is a very, very narrow card. But think about it for a second. It isn't. Let's continue. We have a Robber of the Rich. We have a Grenzo, which Grenzo's ability synergizes nice with a Prosper. And Grenzo is also a rogue, right? The ability to goad a target creature is really, really nice. Especially, it's always nice, but it's especially nice now in this current meta, because you can force like a shitty, really weak but strong, weak but powerful stacks creature. You can go that motherfucker and have him, what he's going to swing into, like, someone's going to chump block it just to get rid of it. And then the exiling is nice too, but it's a rogue. And so let's continue our rogue tribal. We have a Grim Hireling. It's a rogue, and it makes treasure, which is nice. Not because of like a Magda that's not in the deck or anything, but oh wait, not only he makes treasure, but your squad when they swing make treasure too, and that's really good because Prosper, from my playtime, my time playing it, falls into the same problem where you just have like really, really, really good cards that are exiled that you want to play. You just don't have the mana to play it, and so you kind of just lose it, right? It goes away in the abyss. But also, Grim Hireling is strong because he has like really shit creature removal ability, and again, that's really strong in this current meta. And he's a rogue. Boom. Rogue tribal. You have an opposition agent. Oppo does what Oppo does in slow motion. He's really slow, but he's also a rogue. And then we have a Dothy Voidwalker, who's really strong, especially if you have wheels in the deck. I have two. So, and if you have an opponent who's just going a little bit faster, Dothy becomes really strong. Yeah. I made a play one time where I had Dothy in another deck, and I think the play was, I think I used someone else's Entomb to, what the hell did I do? Oh, yeah, World Gorger. Yeah, I used someone else's Entomb to drop my World Gorger. Oh my god. And then I reanimated it with the animation spell. So it's really, 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 really cool. Cool things you could do. And it's a rogue, right? We're in Rogue Tribal. Enough of that. Let's go into the rest of the creatures. We have a Ragavan, because of course. We have Direfleet Daredevil, which is, could be strong. If you have the opponent that's playing a little bit faster, even though no one's really spell slinging right now in this current meta. By the way, I don't know if anyone else is having the same problem. So the date right now is we're in late December 2021. A lot of my spots have been kind of empty, and I don't know if it's because the stacks meta is like making Magic not fun for anyone. I don't know. Let me know if you have that same problem. But a Direfleet, strong card, right? I could do things with your instant sorceries better than you can, believe me. So if it's there, it's a target, and it's gonna trigger my Prosper. Boom. We have a Valky, of course. Valky's pretty strong. Either side, whether it's Valky, God of Lies, or Tybalt, the Cosmic Imposter. A little heavy on its CMC. Thank God it's the backside, not the front, because then it would not be played in any deck with Ad Nauseam. But yeah, pretty strong. Let's flip him over for a second. I'm curious if he has a synergy with Cloudstone. Yeah, all right. So he is an ETB. I forget about that because I'm so in such a rush to flip his to play his backside. But it's not an infinite, right? You are going to leave your opponent hellbent, and I guess that's really cool if you want to maybe do a Cloudstone loop with Valky first before you. It's like in a weird way like a soft counter, right? So just hellbent your opponents. And then go into your combo. It's like a overly complicated way to silence your opponents. We have Bergie, of course. Bergie's really cool, but in this particular deck, we don't care about her front side. We care about her backside. Pause. Where you just, discard, exile top 2. Easy peasy. Easy money. And then we have a Florian Flow Rider. Florian's really, really strong. He's stronger in Agila because we're swinging with so many things. But Florian is still pretty strong on his own. Again, I make the argument that Florian, in the right conditions, kind of becomes like a soft dig through time. And it synergizes with Prosper. And then we have a Simian Spirit Guide, a little bit of a ritual creature. Going into our instants and sorceries, we start with our counters. We're in Rakdos, so soft counters. We have a Deflecting Swat. We have a Pyroblast and a Red Elemental Blast. And then we have a Tybalt's Trickery. I tried the Imp's Mischief. I'd rather have the Tybalt's Trickery. Why not both? I just don't have the space. I don't have the space, to be honest. But again, it's a meta call. If you have no stacks in your pods, then put in the Imp's Mischief. If you do, you need the spot removal. So it's really a meta call. Imp's Mischief. Our tutors, we have Vampiric Tutor. Gamble, Imperial Seal, Demonic Tutor, Diabolic Intent, and then some recursion. We have Mizium's Mastery, right? Mizzix Mastery, which is really, really good card. I know I like my Japanese cards, but I have to go out of my way to get the Japanese cards. These like premier cards, they shouldn't have done the Japanese promo because a lot of people forget like what the card is. Tell me, you let me know how many times you had people, look through someone else's bind. They're like, what's this card? And they try their hardest to like put it together, just by the CMC, without knowing like that. It says sorcery, but whether or not you overload it, it's exiling it, right? If you overload it, it's exiling all instants of sorceries. Again, which is really, really cool with Prosper. It synergizes really well. But on its own, it's just a really strong card. And then we have a Predator's Hour. Again, a card that's way better in like a big swingers deck, like a Nagila, much stronger. But it has synergy with Prosper, and it's a strong card, especially because the chance to cast that card doesn't go away, right? It doesn't. It's not like until the end of the next turn or anything like that. So, hopefully, good luck to you. Try to hit like really strong cards from your opponent. Reanimate. What am I reanimating? I guess a combo piece, right? Maybe like Mayhem Devil or something like that. I just wish that there was a red or black card that could get me back a lost Underworld Breach. Right? I think that's the problem. I know. You see, I can't say Yawgmoth's Will because I can't do an Underworld Breach loop at that point. So I don't know. Maybe you Praetor's Grasp, the green opponent, and use your Noxious Refund. Yeah, so you gotta know your cards, right? You gotta know all these things that you could do to get back a lost Underworld Breach. And then we have the Yawgmoth's Will, just backup super emergency, get something back. Our rituals, we have a Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Culling the Weak, Rain of Filth, Red of Flame, and Jessica's Will. Our removal package, we have a Lightning Bolt, a Berate, Feed the Swarm at a sorcery speed, but that's the best we could do, right? You find some prisoners and a Fire Covenant. Our draw package, we have Faithless Looting, Wheel of Misfortune, Wheel of Fortune, and a Peer into the Abyss, and of course, an Ad Nauseum. And then for the rest, we have our some utility. We have a Necropotence. If you can afford to squeeze in the Necropotence, if you're able to cast it without a problem, that triple black, then run the Necropotence and a Witchclaw Talisman for utility. And then our rocks, we have a Lotus Petal, a Jewel Lotus, a Fel or a Stone, a Talisman of Indulgence, a Paper Rakdos Signet, Arcane Signet, Mox Opal, Chromox, Mox Diamond, and for colorless we have our Grim Monolith, Mana Vault, Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, and then for our lands we have our 7 fetches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 1 Snow Island, what am I talking about? We have a Swamp and 1 Snow Swamp. We have a Mountain and 1 Snow Mountain. because of that, because of fetches, we don't want dead fetches, and because of Tainted Pact. We have our duels, we have a Blood Crypt, and our Badlands. And then the rest, we have our Luxury Suite, Paper, Sulphur Spring, Paper, Blight Step Pathway, a Tainted Pact, which is a Tainted Peak, which is a pretty neat card. There's a whole cycle of these tainted cards that if you control Swamp, you could do one or the other. But what's nice about them is that in the meantime, they tap for colorless. And then, because we really, really, really got to get rid of these annoying stacks pieces, for the meantime, because of the current meta, we have cards like a Cabal Pit with a threshold to finger bang something teeny tiny, and a Barbarian Ring, which does the same thing. Kind of. Our mana abundant lands, we have a Phyrexian Tower. I'm waiting for that, a Secret Lair Dracula one. City of Traders. Anything to help me get an early Prosper on board in Ancient Tomb. And then wrapping these up, we have our Rainbow lands. We have Gemstone Caverns, Command Tower, Spire of Industry, Tarnished Citadel, Mana Confluence, and the City of Brass. Oh, all these websites that price cards, I don't know why there's no 7th edition foil City of Brass. It's like it doesn't exist on their database, right? I don't know. How do we fix this? How do we fix this problem? Anyway, that is your boy Prosper, Volume 2. I can't say that. Okay, cut action. Okay, that is your boy Prosper, the second volume in 2021. Fun deck. You guys seem to enjoy Prosper shit, so Prosper do what Prosper do. Like I said, the moment WotC releases some red or black creature that ETBs and lets me exile and the Coral Keep, a Coral Keep for opponents. It's a wrap. I don't know if that's something like that is way too strong, but yeah. Thanks so much. Happy holidays, everybody. I'll try to squeeze one more in by the end of the year, and then we'll do it all over again with some of the old commanders, maybe some new faces, but they're 2022 incarnations. Thanks.